Hello YouTube. We decided I'm going to make a drawer for the back of the camper van underneath the bed. I've got a lot of bits and pieces I want to just store so it's easy to get to. So I thought I was recording just now when I made this. But this is the start of the outer shell of the drawer system. It's just going to be one drawer. The sides here are 10 inches and I've got some 700mm long drawer runners coming hopefully tomorrow. So this is going to be the actual outside. It's going to have a bottom on it and it's going to have a top on it, and then the drawer will slide in from the front here. Made it from 18mm ply. It's just exterior ply. Picked up some offcuts from the local timber yard. Just started gluing it, a few screws in it. So basically now the idea is I've got some more offcuts there. So I'm going to cut the top and the bottom for this now. I'll glue the bottom on, but I won't glue the top on because I need to attach the runners on the sides here, and then I'll make a drawer. Then they'll go inside. So probably my drawer is going to be about 9 inches deep, and I've done this this is actually 29 inches long. The drawer is going to be by about 2 foot wide. So I'll get them other bits cut out now. I've got my table saw out, so I'm going to get the top and the bottom cut from these pieces I've got here, and then once my drawer runners come, then I'll know how wide my drawer needs to be with allowing space for the runners in there. I'm going to build this nice and solid, and I'm going to have it lockable. It's going to go in the back of the van, under the bed. It's just going to hold things like straps, a few tools, like the dog tie things we got, bits for the awning, and just all bits and pieces that I usually keep in a black container in the back of the van, which is awkward to get to. So I'll be able to just open the back doors, slide out the drawer, and everything should be there in front of me. So I'm going to cut them bits and I'll get back to you then. Right, I've actually built the main box now. I've just screwed the top on for now with 4 screws. That come back off, ready for me to fit the drawer sliders in. Obviously it's a lot easier to work with the top off, screwing the drawer sliders in and that. All the bottom is fixed in, so that's the main carcass done. Obviously once it's all done, I'll put this top on and put some more screws in it. I've just started making the drawer here. All the joints I'm using are just normal butt together joints, nothing special. No, I have got table saw and that, but all this really, if you wanted to, could be done with a handsaw. All fairly easy. Just get your measurements right and everything works out tidy. So I've started. This is going to be the sides and the back of the drawer. So my drawer sliders didn't turn up today where they're supposed to, so I'm going to fit my drawer sliders along here now and into here, and then the front will go on with a lock on the front and that, and a handle. Still waiting for all the bits to come, but it's going to be a nice strong sturdy box. I'll be able to store stuff in that hopefully keep it sort of semi-safe in the back of the van. This will be all screwed down so it's secure in the back of the van. I did put some bits of rubber on the bottom to stop it sliding or squeaking or anything. So as soon as I get my drawer sliders, I'll do a bit more to it. Right, I got the drawer runners in. The drawer runners are 28 inches long, 700mm, and they'll hold 60 kilos, so should be strong enough. So I built all the drawer, as you can see. It's 9 inches deep, just over 2 foot long, so should be able to get plenty in that. And again, all no special joints on the wood, just all butted up. And what I've done in here to secure the front a bit better, everything is glued. I've put some brackets on there. I put a piece of wood on the bottom as well to hold all the drawer front on. There's going to be a lock going in the front here. I've ordered like a garage type lock which you can lock with a T handle, so it should be nice and secure. It won't be unbreakable like, but you know, it will give you some security to keep your bits and pieces in. But what I'm doing at the moment now, I'm just PVAing. I've just got some cheap PVA glue. I think that was like about £1. I've mixed it with some water, and I'm gonna just basically paint everything to seal the wood, because what I'm going to do once that's all sealed, what do I do with it? Right, I bought some of this black satin spray paint. It was £1.99, so I'm going to spray all the outside in the matte black, in the satin black, so the PVA will go on, because if I don't PVA it, the paint will sink in too much into the wood grain and I'll end up using loads and loads of paint. So I'm going to give it a couple of coats of PVA, especially on the edges, and that should just seal everything in nicely. Once that dries, then I'll give it a light little rub down, and then I'll spray it. But just mix a bit of PVA with some water, and that's all you need. And once my lock comes in, I'll fit my lock on, and I'll get all this top secured down properly then, because at the moment there's only like 4 screws holding it down. So once all the top is done, I'll get that glued on, and I'll put a hell of a lot more screws in it just to secure that into place, and then I'll be able to get it into the van. So at the moment it's all looking strong. It's fairly heavy, but I wanted something that was going to last, and I can just chuck, you know, straps and bungees, and I got axes and torches and stuff like that, you know, so it'll be holding quite a bit of stuff, but it should withstand the abuse I'm going to give it of chucking all stuff inside it. But it's going to be a nice little storage unit for the back of the van, because at the moment I've got like a tote box, a storage plastic tote box, and I've got to go sliding that out and digging through it all to find all the bits and pieces I need. So this is why I've built this to help me along, you know, finding things a lot easier than what I have been. You know, as you use the van, you realise what you need, what you don't need, what needs altering. And this was on a recent trip. We spent 5 days 4 nights away, and this was one of the pains, you know, having to go in the back, finding this, finding that all the time, digging the box out, taking the lid off, sorting it all out, moving stuff out of there to get the stuff at the bottom. Just become a pain after a couple of days. So hopefully this will solve that problem. So as soon as my lock arrives, I'll get that all fitted, and I'll show you a bit more. Well, I'll show you once I start painting it, so, or spraying it I should say, so see how that goes. Started to spray it now. It's just had one light coat, just drying. Give it a few coats. Seems to be taking well after doing the PVA on it. That's the front drawer. So a couple of coats, that one. So I'll just continue to do that until it's all nice and done. Right, my lock has finally arrived. It's the type of lock I'm using. It's a garage T-lock. It's got some funky looking keys. That's the keys for it. Come with 4 keys, and this is the actual locking mechanism itself. So this will be fixed to the front of the drawer. I'll obviously be inside, and as I turn that, it'll open up the cam to lock it. I'm just gluing a piece to the front of the drawer there inside, because these bits where you put the bolts through on the back, or the screws through I should say on the back, was actually wider than the wood. So I've doubled the wood up now, so once that's dried, this will be fixed through and screwed, and then this will fit on the back, making it fairly strong. And now that's doubled up, it's even stronger. So it's all pretty much finished now. Let's move some of this. The drawer runs lovely, and what I've done, I've put a little separator inside just to put small pieces in the front, and then some big pieces on this side with a carpet in the bottom to stop any rattles or anything like that when it's in the back of the van. As you can see, it opens fully, full length. That's the runners there. Runs nice and free. So once that's dry, I'm going to get some holes drilled in the front there for this T-handle. I'm going to get all my lock fitted, and I think we're all done. This can be the top. I've drilled some more holes in the top now to take some more screws. So once it's all done, I'm just going to whip the top off, because once this goes on the back of there behind the T-handle, when that flips up, I'm going to have to route it out a piece on the underside for this little cam to fit into. And what I'll do is I'll get a bit of aluminium flat plate and screw it to the back to strengthen all the wood up in that area. And then the top can be glued and screwed down then. So I'll get back to you once that's dry and I get the handle drilled. Right, I've drilled my 3 holes for the lock handle. So that's going to go in there, fit on there like that. And then this part here will fit and screw to the back. And then what I'll do is I'll remove this top and I'll make a slot up inside for that to go into when it's in its lock position. So I'll get all that screwed on now. I'll get back to you then. Right, I've got that all fitted now, as you can see. Once it goes in there, I haven't done the top yet, so it won't actually lock into place. I've got to move that back around. I've got to take it all back off, so when it's shut the handle will be like that when it's locked. But it's just put on temporary at the moment because I've got to take all the lock back off to cut this off, cut this spare bit off. I don't need that. But the 2 bolts that went in the back to hold the T-handle in, I've had to recess them because of this sitting on here. So I've recessed them into this spare bit of wood I've put on there and put 2 washers on them. So they're done up behind here. So I'm going to remove it all now. Once I've marked where I know it's got to go on the top, up in here, up inside, I need to make a groove. So I'll just shut it and I'll turn the handle until it makes a mark on the inside of the wood. Then I'll be able to see, do a few little measurements, and then bloody flies, and then I'll be able to remove this lock, cut that off, and then everything should be done, and that'll lock then in the upright position, but the handle will be in the down position then. So I'm going to get all that sorted now and I'll get back to you then. Right, as you can see, I've removed the top and I've just routed a groove in there, so when the top goes back on and this handle is locked, this piece will go up into the groove to keep it locked. I'm going to add, I just found a small bit of aluminium strip or something. I'm going to cut that slot out of that and add that just to give it a bit more security around there. I got to check first that it doesn't foul on this, so maybe a little bit of playing around with that and I get that sorted. Right, I've had to make this small piece of aluminium, but what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to recess it in because it fouls on there. I've kept all my tolerances really tight, so I got no shaking or rattling, because that's one of my pet hates. So I'm going to get the router out now and I'm going to recess that down in flush with the wood. So that'll just give me a bit of extra strength, so if someone tries to pull it, it's not going to break the wood away. It'll just give me, it's only a bit of aluminium, but it'll just give me that little bit of extra strength. Right, that's that all recessed in and fitted. So now it should give me a little bit of extra security. I've just given it a quick little spray, so I'm going to let that dry now and I'm going to get all the top fitted. I'm going to check it first if it all fits good and I ain't going to do any more work on it, which I shouldn't have to. Then I can glue and screw the top down and I'm all done. Right, oh, sorry about my finger. I'm all finished. all locked, nice and secure. Open. Door runs lovely. I've made this nice and tight so there's no chance of it rattling or anything. But all together this has probably cost me about just under £40 to make. That includes the wood, the runners and the lock. I did look at them first before I built this one on a couple of websites, and they were like hundreds of pounds for, you know, a drawer this size for the back of a van or vehicle. So there you go. Everything can be done with basic tools. I know I've got table saws and stuff, but you could cut the wood by hand or get your wood yard to cut it for you. The other bits I just bought on an auction site, well-known one, very cheap. I think this lock was about £5. The runners were about £12, and I think I paid about, well, I paid £20 for all the wood. So there you go, under £40. Nice solid drawer for the back of my camper van. Thanks all for watching. Please look out for the next video.